You finally hit that milestone. Your agency's revenue is steady, you have a few reliable clients, and you can afford your first real hire. You're excited. You post the job, interview carefully, and land a senior specialist. Someone who's spent 5 years doing exactly this one thing at a much bigger company. They know the tools, the lingo, the exact deliverables. You pay them well, onboard them, and wait for the momentum to kick in. 3 months later, your agency hasn't sped up. It's stumbling. Clients are getting missed details. Your own time is still stretched paper thin. And the new hire seems stuck, waiting for clear briefs, defined processes, the kind of structure that doesn't exist yet. You wonder if you hired wrong. Here's what's actually happening. You hired for a problem you don't have yet. In an early stage business, a senior specialist is a precision instrument. But you don't need a scalpel right now. You need a Swiss Army knife. Think about how your week actually works. 1 hour you're closing a sales call. The next, you're outlining a project scope. Then a client emergency lands, and suddenly you're reworking the delivery timeline. You move across functions constantly. The business demands it. A specialist, someone who's only been accountable for a single slice of a larger machine, struggles in that environment. They wait for the inputs they use to get from other departments. They don't reach across the gaps because they were never trained to. The result? You become the bridge. You translate. You unstick. The person who was supposed to free you ends up consuming even more of your time. That's the hidden cost. There's a better pattern. Hire a senior generalist first, someone who's worn multiple hats, even if each hat had a few rough edges. They know enough about client communication to jump on a call without a script. They can spot when a deliverable is drifting off track because they understand what actually needs to get done. They see the whole system, not just their favorite part. This isn't theory. Research in organizational behavior shows that teams with broader cognitive diversity and adaptive generalists pivot faster when conditions change, and early stage is nothing but change. In his book Range, David Epstein documents how generalists often outperform specialists precisely when the problems are undefined and the feedback loops are muddy. Those are the exact conditions of a young business. CB Insights found that 23% of startups fail because of team issues, with mishires in the early stages ranking as one of the most expensive mistakes, not just in salary, but in lost momentum. I learned this directly building Xentro. Our first core hires weren't the deepest specialists we could find. They were operators who could hold a strategic conversation with a client in the morning, map out a campaign logic in the afternoon, and spot a system inefficiency before it became a crisis. Because they could see across functions, we didn't have to build rigid departments too early. We stayed lean and adaptable. Later, as we scaled into regional operations, we added deeper expertise on top of that foundation. But the foundation had to come first. Had we started with narrow experts, we would have calcified processes that didn't match the market yet. Instead, we built a team that could evolve with the business. Here's the counterintuitive twist. The senior specialist isn't lazy or incompetent. They're excellent in the right context. But they become a bottleneck when the context demands flexibility. They wait for the clean data, the complete brief, the defined scope. They optimize their piece while the whole project wobbles. You can't afford that when you're the one holding everything together. The most dangerous hire is the one who's brilliant inside a box you can't afford to build yet. Before you post your next job description, do one concrete thing this week. Take a sheet of paper and list the 3 biggest cross-functional gaps in your business right now. Not skills you want, but the places where unfinished work bounces between roles because nobody fully owns the seam. If the role you're hiring for can't absorb at least 2 of those gaps and run with them without handoffs, rewrite it. Hire for the seams. The pure specialist can come later when you've earned the luxury of defined swim lanes. Specialists are powerful, but they're a scalpel. In the early days, you need someone who can stitch, cut, and measure on the fly. Hire the person who sees the whole field, not just their corner of it. That's how you stop spending your days as a human handoff and start building something that doesn't break the moment you step away. I'm Farsad Fakhim, and at Xentro, we learned that the first hire either becomes your force multiplier or your biggest bottleneck. Choose the one who multiplies.